Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Identity Library. My name is Veronica Becher and I'm joined with my best friend Loridana Fosha.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming again.
Thank you for having
It's the
me.
second episode. Yes, we are recording this episode way too often than we should. Honestly, this reminds me of when you write an essay and you just can't finally finish this conclusion and it takes you like 5 times to finish
I'm
it
having
up.
fun, okay? This is
okay.
fun.
It's okay. We're just staying cool, I guess. Well, I would love to talk about Spain. Spain, why Spain? Let's just give us a rundown why Spain
Yeah.
and where we're coming from, like with Spain. But that's just the topic, right?
Yeah, love Spain. So I'm, as well as Veronica, we're both in a program called the International Business Dual Degree Program, IBDD for short, which is also run under like a cohort of business schools, IPBS. So what this is you spend 2 years in your home country and you spend your last 2 years in like a different country where you're learning the language of. And like Veronica, she did her first 2 years in Germany. Now she's here in the US. I'm doing my first 2 years here at NC State, and then my last 2 years I'm gonna be going to Madrid, Spain.
IKD
En comillas. So Universidad Pontificia comillas. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay, that's enough. I'm joking. Yes. And well, why this episode?
yeah.
Well, after thinking for such a long time, and I was like, so many students are moving now, and well, it's almost a whole year that I moved here, 2 days in. I just feel like a lot of people could benefit from having someone talk about
Yeah.
the anxiety, feelings, thoughts about moving abroad, deciding to even live so far away for 2 years. And well, I just would love to, would love you to share your
Yeah.
thoughts on this topic.
So yeah, a little bit context. Today is August 6th and August 14th, so next week I'm flying out to Spain, and this is also going to be the first time I've traveled outside of the country. The farthest I've been is up to New York, down Florida, and then like Alabama, and that's the farthest I've been in all directions. And to live for 2 years, like my first time going outside the country is going to be staying for 2 years, is a little terrifying, but more exciting. This is something that I've always wanted to do growing up. I was always thinking about, what did I want to do? In high school, I did engineering, which is a complete flip-flop from business administration.
Oh my gosh.
Even nowadays, I miss STEM, but people are texting me right now.
Getting distracted my podcast.
I'm so sorry.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Sorry. So many people like to talk to me.
I just want to say it's so famous. It's okay.
So
I know
famous,
you're leaving soon,
so loved.
Of course they want to get to know you better on the last day and date you for one day.
I know.
I'm joking. Well,
I'm so important.
Going back to the topic.
Yeah. Anyways, actually, how this all came up when I was younger, I watched a lot of YouTube when I was of the most random things. A lot of it was culture things. I would watch a lot of things from like different parts around the world, cultures, traditions, what they would do, and constantly just like interested in people. I was always asking questions, even coming from like a non-American. I'm from like a Slavic Balkan, like a different culture than everybody else. I always was more open-minded to experience. I always wanted to experience different things, especially since like I was so closed up and like a part of town that like, I barely ever went away from. And I remember when I was younger, I watched this one YouTube channel called Yes Theory. And the first video I've ever watched from them, I was 12 years old, and they threw a dart on a map, right? And on the map of the US. And wherever the dart landed, they were going to fly there and spend like a couple days in. And I thought that concept was so cool because I love the idea of doing things in the moment, just like in the spur of the moment. And I watched more of their videos and how they went to random countries, even like the smallest, like the least touristy countries, and had like such an amazing experience. They go there without any direction whatsoever, and they find accommodation and they find help from random people that I talk to. Me being the introvert, I thought this was so cool because it was something that I've never was able to like do, and I thought it was so cool that they would just go up to random people and like, hey, we're here and we have no idea what to do. Would you like to be our tour guide for the day? And it would be locals. It wouldn't be like actual tour guides, or like they would be with locals and like not even in like the most busiest parts of the city and or like in the country, and they would just explore and do things on their own. And as soon as I saw that, that's what I wanted to do. I remember texting my friend and I was like, I want to travel the world and I want to do long-term traveling where in digital nomading, where basically you take your job remote and
work and travel
basically.
Yeah.
And I wanted to
minivan.
Not like minivan, maybe America, but like 2 weeks, 2 months, stay in one place, and then whenever I want to leave, pack up, go somewhere else, and just have like the most minimal amount of things that I need, and really work so I can like support myself, but like also maybe like do odd jobs here and there if I needed to. If I needed to like stay with some people, I can be like, I can babysit for you or something like that, or tend to your garden, whatnot.
This reminds me so much of I had in high school an acquaintance, and she went to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like working for a wildlife conservatory, and she was traveling the whole Australia in like a whole year or something, and she was just living there like a nomad.
Yeah.
Really interesting experience, and
that's what I want to do. Yeah.
A lot of people, for some reason, in Germany, when they graduate high school, they go for this 1 year abroad where they study somewhere, or they travel somewhere, work in different companies, or I don't know, just different things.
Which I also think is interesting, how studying abroad and traveling is much more normal in Europe than it is America, because America in of itself is such a big country that like you travel, like whenever you go on vacation, you're still in America.
Yeah, but the reason is also in Europe, for instance, if you study abroad, you get a scholarship called Erasmus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for people that live in Europe, and you can just apply to get an Erasmus scholarship, and they will pay for your housing, for your tuition, for like a lot of things. In additional, like you just get a lot of money for just traveling abroad. And I know a lot of people, since Germany has the biggest IPBS network of like international dual degree corporations,
because it started there, right?
Yeah, it's one of the founding places. We have 12 different countries in comparison to NC State having 4, right?
France, Spain, Italy,
and Germany.
4.
Yes.
China used to be on there, but I don't think it is anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And we have 12 different. We're from China to Brazil to like Spain, Italy, kind of all kind of countries. So when people stay in Europe, they just get almost everything paid by Erasmus. If they can apply, and then depending on how much money your parents make, you get more funding or less.
Yeah.
Well, America's different.
Yeah.
And it's also different for you guys, right? Traveling. I feel like we're just doing a lot of marketing content for IBDD.
Do IBDD, guys. It's great.
Oh my gosh. No, seriously. All the incoming students are coming in tomorrow. And
aren't you doing the orientation for them?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't even mention it.
That's crazy.
If anyone ever sees me on campus and thinks like, who is this random girl? And I don't know when this episode will be.
And a huge group is following her as well.
That's crazy.
You're just leading an entire group. I remember like that one time we were with the interns from Hitachi, more marketing, for Hitachi.
Energy.
And you were like talking about like, oh, and we were like, you look like such a tour guide right now, and like talking or like a perfect like talking about this.
To give a little bit of rundown, what happened? We went. It's a little bit drifting off topic, but we went to a factory in South Boston. It's not a secret. To see the Transformers, and it was really funny. We were such a big group of interns and graduate students, and I feel like through working in project management, I had the opportunity to like get to know more about Transformers, and thank you to my team that was like fantastic, helping me like learn so many random things. That in the end of the day, I knew more about Transformers than most people did, and even the tour guide couldn't give us the rundown. And I was like, "Oh, this is like this Transformer, this is that Transformer," and so people were just following me through not even my factory. But that was really funny.
I remember when we came back, we were like kind of outside Hitachi, just like talking to each other, and you were talking about Hunt or something.
Yeah.
And like you were like, "This is Hunt, and Hunt is all the way over there," and you were talking about it like with your hand, as if you were like presenting to them.
A tour guide.
Yeah.
I was a tour guide in Germany.
Like, why are you good at this?
I don't know. I just discovered this in Germany when someone asked me to do like a mini tour for NC State students, and that's how I met like a lot of NC State students, and got to know. And I was like, oh, I really want to go to NC State to study and be in this dual degree program. And well, I realized that my dry jokes, work really well when it's a tour guide. And I did like a tour guide.
Everyone gets them.
Yeah, for IBDD.
Yeah.
Yes. So if anyone mentions Germans have no humor, that's not true. Or
it's just different.
It's just different. Or it's just my Slavic side. I'm not sure yet.
We're still figuring that out.
Yeah. The same as my accent, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, going kind of back to like Spain in so yeah, international students are incoming this week, and they all come from different places. I'm like the key person, giving everyone the keys out, and also doing the international orientation day next week. So I'm gonna lead like 25 students from different countries, undergrad students.
That's crazy.
And so that was also a thing what inspired me to do this episode with you, because I feel like a lot of students come here, and I remember when we moved here, it was such a nerve-wracking thing.
Yeah.
I was crying for the first 2 weeks, and I'm saying that as a person.
I have that to look forward to.
Oh my gosh, who went to South Dakota when she was 15 and nothing happened there. I feel like bisons were distracting me, but I'm joking. I didn't really see them all the time, so
all the time.
Yeah, I wasn't even living in the area to see bisons all the time. I saw more cornfields than ever. But besides that, drifting up, I feel like I just want to share kind of both our thoughts. Me being like a year already in, and you like starting your journey.
There's a big difference.
Yes.
Because you're already here, and I'm planning to go there right now.
How do you feel about speaking Spanish? Starting with one topic.
I'm not that good in Spanish. I used to be, definitely. Like taking Spanish class, I feel like this entire summer has put me back, like set me back a little, like a lot actually. When I get there, but before actual school starts, we are all taking this in Spanish intensive course. I think from like 10 to 2. I don't know, I might be wrong on the times, but it's like a really long time. We're just gonna be speaking in Spanish, and I'm like hoping, because the thing is with my Spanish, my entire curriculum, like all my classes, my exams are going to be in Spanish and not in English, and that is stressing me out a little bit. But immersion is the best way to learn a language, and I'm kind of hoping that like within a month. I was told from other people that went to Europe, because I feel like in Europe you kind of know you learn English like a lot younger, and everyone is expected to know English. Like it's becoming like a worldwide almost language. But Spanish isn't really. So I was told by people who have done this before me that your first month is you're not going to understand anything, and that's okay. And I was like, that makes me feel better and also nervous at the same time, because I know that my next month, the entire next month from August 14th to September 14th, not exactly probably, but it's going to be stressful. I'm going to be so stressed.
It's just like the 15th is going to be the special day.
Like, finally, it's Veronica's birthday and I know Spanish now.
Exactly, and then a random spider drops on your head, and you think twice about your life choices.
You're like, am I okay?
No, I just like kind of a foreshadow. The thing with foreshadowing is just funny at this point. It's just like a thing. It's gonna be a running joke. Well, to foreshadow what's gonna happen, a lot of people cried. A lot of people were excited. I remember my German peers. They were so like they're going crazy. They were running through the store and like, Veronica, look at this. Look at these cookies. Oh my gosh, this is something we saw like in like High School Musical, in movies. Oh, they have these like yellow buses. And well, do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel? Did you watch like any movies? Like, how do you know about Spanish culture? Like, how did you?
I know a lot more of like Latin, like Central and South America more than Spain itself, mainly because I was more exposed to that. I know more people from there. I'm not as exposed to Spanish culture, but I feel very unprepared, honestly. I feel like I should know more about Spain since I'm going there in of itself. But I mean, I have a lot of friends, like even one of my family members is Mexican. I have a lot of friends who are from Central or South America, and I'm very acquainted with that kind of culture, and I feel like this is going to be a very big difference in culture.
Why Spain? Like,
I was learning Spanish.
Oh, really? When did you start? Like,
I started learning Spanish kind of a little bit middle school, but mainly like I fully started in high school. I didn't think I was doing this. So there's like a requirement to like know Spanish. But the thing is, the main reason why Spanish is because I found that it was so easy to learn because of my Romanian background. I found that learning Spanish, like I saw a lot of parallels with Romanian, and even taught me more about Romanian that I didn't know. And I was like, oh, when my mom's walking me through conjugation, like I understand what she's doing now. Because I used to not be able to understand, like, why do we put certain words like this? And in my head, when I was younger, when I spoke Romanian, it just kind of flew like that. And now I feel like I'm more aware of what I'm saying when I'm speaking to my family, which is a big deal. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But I think Spanish because it made me more connected with Romanian. And I could have gone and done Italian because I feel like Italian is a lot more closely related to Romania than it is Spanish. But I think I wanted to fully be set in Spanish first. I wanted to be fluent in it first before I went to another language, to a different culture in a sense.
Yeah. I'm like, you just answered my other question. What are me answering, like asking it, you know?
Yeah.
What are your like expectations? Like, what are something like your top 3 things? I love the top 3 things, I guess.
Top
like
3 things. It's it's a good conversation rolling. Yeah.
What is something that you like, or like what you look forward to in Spain besides your room?
Yeah. Ooh, I love my room. It has so many windows.
Oh my gosh.
I won that room.
Oh my gosh. I need to give a rundown. I know this is your story, but this is just...
Go for it. Tell my story.
We both are working right now at the same company for the summer, but in different departments.
Yeah.
And Loridana was for like, I think a month. Like,
don't tell my managers this.
No, I'm not telling you. No, it's the fact that you were debating on like
so long
what room to take.
Well, not even so, like a week maybe.
Yeah, but it was kind of like, Veronica, what do you think? Veronica, what is the best choice?
Yeah.
What room feels more like Loredana?
Yeah.
What room feels more like Spain? And Laura is like a fantastic artist, by the way. Just giving like a clap to her for winning a capstone project last year for the
oh my god, stop.
for the what is the village arts village?
Art village, yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
This is a different story that probably a different day, it just took us, we were just not ready when everyone was ready. We were just setting it up for hours.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was a performative piece.
Yes. Oh my gosh, performative piece. My dear friends, please remember to improvise in life sometimes. Yes. It works.
It gets you. It gets you first place.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, what are your top 3 expectations?
I am so excited and ready to make more friends. I think that mainly because I'm comparing it to my experience at NC State. I didn't expect to. This is the part where I start crying. I didn't expect to have such a close knit, loving community, and the fact that I'm leaving him, like, it makes me sad.
Oh my
We
gosh,
have a running inside joke. I cry a lot. I'm a very emotional person.
This is like, I don't have tissues right now besides a random like
Paper towel roll.
And this room is just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Froggy's here, the
Thank
green
you,
frog.
Froggy.
If you haven't listened to the first episode, you will know what's happening. Preview. Yeah. So basically, we are sitting at Jubila, and people that live here, they know.
Is that the first time I cried?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. The amount of times you cried during this whole year is just
This is emotional.
crazy, and it's
I
okay.
love you guys.
I love, having friends that are really expressive, because I cried a lot too, but it's not characteristically my thing to cry that much.
Yeah, it's my thing.
Well, yeah, just imagine,
I cry. Only I cry.
Oh my gosh, just imagine when people like make these movies about this guy who does something bad in a cafe, like, or someone like in a restaurant, and then everyone turns around, oh my gosh, he's a bad guy. Well, I was a bad guy.
Yeah.
But for a different reason, because we were just sitting there having our deep conversations,
like
over
we always do.
A cup of coffee and tea, because I'm a tea drinker. And Laura's just getting super emotional about it, starts crying, and everyone just turns around. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not my fault.
How many times have I cried there? Like
I think
3 times.
4 actually.
Four,
at this
probably.
Point. But
and
that's,
yeah,
I don't know how much it tells about us more than it tells about the place, but it's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm expecting to do the same there.
It's okay.
I'm excited to have a cohort of friends, of a really close community, something that I really value when I want, like, I explained that I want to travel, and one thing I really want to do is connect with other people and be able to, girl, don't look at me like that, I'm gonna start crying too. Stop.
I'm not crying.
It.
I'm just getting super
I think
touches my heart.
Community and connecting with people is something that I really enjoy, and it's like also something that I found in you and my friends here, and I'm excited to spend time with people that are different than me, that think people that I can learn something from. And I've learned so much here from my experiences and the friends that I've had here. Shout out to Veronica, obviously, Max and Juan, and like they've also been there for me. And even going there, Kate, she's someone that like is, getting ready with me to go with me because we're going together. And I'm excited that I know that you guys are irreplaceable, and I understand that, like, I will never truly find people like you, but I'm excited to find people who are different that I can have. I'm not expecting to have the same experiences or be able to find friends like you, but I'm excited to have different friends, to know different people, and to experience different things that will help me grow and evolve and become, and I want to become a better person through people, because I feel like that's one of the biggest ways you can be able to grow and develop as a person.
I remember reading up this article, and it was like, the reason why people feel like they're different in a different country is the moment you, and I can't really quote it, but the moment you subtract everything that surrounds you, your heritage, your background, your friend groups, your family members, everything that is just defining you in the space you're living in right now, and you kind of like just set yourself apart in a different place, you can start from like a blank page.
Yeah.
And because you're starting from a blank page, you start realizing what is something you really like, and not just in what you want to become and so on. And I just remember this one thing you told me. To this point, I literally wrote down in my journal that sometimes if you travel to different places, I don't know if you remember, it was like a random late night talk in your car, like always, this thing when you say like
right before I drop you off.
You're like, you 5 minutes and get out, and then end up
like
being
an
like
hour.
an hour conversation, and you didn't want to come into my apartment, and we still talk for an hour in your car.
Like, I need to go home, but I really need to tell you something.
Yes. And she literally, like, you literally told me, Well, sometimes it's maybe if different people bring out different sides of me.
Yes.
And sometimes it's not that I'm different. It's just maybe I'm so diverse and I have so many different like layers that's the reason why I can be a different person in different countries and different places, because I have so many more layers to me than just being a business student, just being an artist, just being someone who likes to read books. And it just reminds me so much of like, I think that's just a great advice to remember, that you
don't have to be one specific person, and you don't have to put yourself in one box. I think you can not only know who you are from like a very deep level of like your entire identity, but know that you are constantly adding layers to yourself. I think onion.
I was thinking about that.
An onion.
People say like, oh,
ogres. People say ogres have layers and onions have layers.
Oh my gosh.
Shrek.
I think of
shout out to my mom. She makes that joke all the time. I love her.
I think of onions like when you need to peel each layer in order to understand how a person is.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe when you travel to a different country, be aware of how many different cultural differences you have and how deep it goes.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember my first weeks here and it was just a mess. It's something you don't want to remember, but it's just the fact that how direct I am as a person, and people know that and they need to get used to it, and how different cultures can be. And I imagine Spain's going to be also a complete different different experience for you.
But it's something I'm excited for. I think one thing that I truly value myself, a part of my identity, or something that like a strength of mine, I'd say, I'm an adaptable person. I'm different in different situations I can bring out different parts of my personality, or I can adapt my personality in some way. I wouldn't say I'm completely two-faced. I'm still myself. I still know I'm not completely putting up an entire wall, but I think of my personality as very malleable,
like
and
a chameleon almost.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Not like you pretend to be someone else. You still are true to yourself. And that's like the question of identity, right?
Yeah.
That we're discussing on this podcast, of like, how do you find your identity if you have so many layers to yourself and you kind of are thrown between different cultures and you're just not sure which one to adapt and which one to stay true to yourself, and how to also not force your own beliefs onto someone else who grew up in a complete different field, right?
Yeah. I think a big thing, and also something that I would tell your past self when you came here.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was important for you to fully accept yourself and also be kinder to yourself. And that's a big deal. And I think know that you are struggling and you're going through a hard time, but as my sister says to her kids, you can do hard things. That's something I learned from my nephews, that you can do hard things. And I guess just giving yourself that room and that space, and being able to know, like, I'm in a completely different environment. I shouldn't expect myself to pick up everything that I should be picking up. I should give myself room and time and space to grow and learn, and then start from there.
Yeah. Do you have like something like on your bucket list, if we expand the expectation part and say, what are like 2 other things you really want to do while in Spain?
Travel. I remember Juan came back, right, from Europe, and we're having a conversation about his travels, and he's like letting me know, like giving me advice. One thing he says, I know it would be easy for you to like, go to a mall and buy everything that you want, and especially since it is like cheaper, but really save your money to travel and like use your money to travel. I think for my entire experience there, like my top 2 countries, Italy and Greece. Like I want to go to Italy and Greece, and the weekend before school starts, we're going to go to Valencia, which is like the beaches of Spain.
Yeah.
Something that I'm really, really excited to do is travel, which is something that like I always wanted to do, but like it's crazy how this idea of mine is finally coming to fruition.
Where in Greece? Any idea?
No.
Oh, okay. Otherwise,
you have to let me know, man.
Yeah, because I've traveled to Greece quite a lot, but also like if you talk about traveling, I feel like my experience started when I was 5 months old. And I don't remember everything because my parents just traveled my whole childhood. They like saved up the money only for traveling.
Yeah.
And I feel like I got a lot of experience, but the moment I stepped on an airplane by myself, I was like, this is nerve-wracking. And the older you get, the harder it gets to leave. And the harder it gets to leave your family and your friends. And especially when you're in college for 2 years, you establish your network, the people that you care for that are close to you. I have a shout out to Ari, who is like, to this point, my best friend. And she's like texting, call me monthly, weekly, even though we're like apart 6 hours or something apart. And it's very difficult to like leave this behind and start a new chapter if you had a good chapter beforehand.
Yeah. I think one thing that'll be carrying with me, good friendship will last, is a big thing. I don't think that the true close friendships that I've had here, I don't think that's ever going to go away no matter how much I travel. And one thing that I learned from my friends that I really think is cool is how we all love to travel. 2 of our best friends went to Europe this past summer, and boy, I thought about them every day. I was like, I miss them so much. And as soon as they came back, I saw them both separately, right? And I sobbed as soon as I saw them because I missed them so much.
Emotional person, like always.
No,
it's okay.
One thing I love about myself.
I love that. That being expressive is sometimes really like a gift. Like I just feel like sometimes when something happens to me, I feel like I don't feel anything for the first month. And that's just me being like, oh, I'm like, this is strange. Like, I don't feel anything. I just feel like I'm a ghost.
Like numb.
And I'm just existing. And I'm not sure when this feeling will go away. And maybe like a big advice, kind of like steering the conversation back to like international study abroad situations. Let yourself, like, don't be too harsh on yourself and give yourself time. Like if the first month is going to be rough, it's going to be emotional, a lot of things will happen. You will feel for the first time the distance that you have between your home country and the country. And
I've never experienced an entire ocean away from my family.
Yes, and just a feeling of you can never go back, but you can go back. And I always say give yourself a month to adjust. That's the first step. The second step is, if you're so far away, you can always go back, but you can never go back to a country that you decide to travel to.
Yeah.
Or, well, you can, but it's more difficult sometimes than going back home to your family, right? And third, if these are your real friends, they will stick with you no matter what. In worst case, I'm just feeling really grateful for these people that were in my life in a chapter that I needed them. We had this conversation where I'm like, you came into my life for the first year at State and you were such a guidance, a kind person, someone who helped me out so much during my first weeks and months at State. And I feel like finding someone who can be this person is sometimes tough and it doesn't come planned. And she's already sobbing. Oh my gosh.
I was hoping you weren't looking at me.
But it's just like it's just well, disclaimer, this is an emotional episode. And and I think it's just it's just important to understand that
I told you I was gonna cry.
And that's how you feel about it, but also I've put so much pressure on myself on finding the right person right away, and it was so difficult. But then the person that I needed was literally sitting in a random jazz class that I signed up one day before classes started.
I looked lonely.
Oh my gosh,
apparently.
I'm sorry. But I loved
your hair. She has not told me.
I loved her hair. I saw her hair and I was like, oh,
it was red back then.
Yes.
And I had like little pigtails.
Yes.
And I've never done the pigtails ever again.
It was so cute. Oh my gosh. But I just remember her hair just changed so much through the year. We grew so much. It was like finals week, you know, when you contemplate about your life decisions and if you actually should study business or not. And I think it happens.
That was me after finals. I was like, should I go to Spain for business? I don't think I actually like business. I had an entire mental breakdown about business and I missed
life crisis.
STEM. Literally life crisis. I was so stressed.
Yeah, and I think that's a normal thing that, you know, it will happen. And I remember this one friend I have, Leah, who is from France. I don't know if she ever listens to this episode, but she was sitting and
Hi, Leah.
yeah, I was sitting in Madrid on a bench. Yes, I also study abroad at the same university, but for like a summer
Yeah.
before coming to the States. And we met up, and she went through this whole thing already. She graduated from a dual degree program, and she was like, you know, when we were back then in finishing our 2 years, we decided to almost protest. We were like telling the coordinators, we're not gonna go abroad. We're gonna stay in this country. We don't want to go and separate.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends group needs to stay together. And she told me this is how everyone feels like. Everyone feels to a certain extent weird about going abroad. You're excited, you're nervous, you're scared. The moment you're actually on the airplane, you get like mixed feelings. You understand that something is happening, but you can't really process it.
Mm-hmm.
And all that matters is to make the first step. And I think that's the first thing you have to do. And then the moment you step over and get to the other country and you start adjusting, you will have a reverse shock when you go back to Germany and you can't recognize yourself anymore. You can't recognize the people that you were there. You can't understand how it is to even live not anymore in the United States, not live in Spain anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. That's gonna be harder than actually going somewhere. But yeah, I'm really grateful to have you like as someone who guided me, and I hope everyone who listens to that and goes through these things will find this one person that will guide them somewhere. And every single time when I open a car door and I just see her, I'm just jumping around. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of times we recorded these like dance videos in my apartment, and we just had these jam sessions. We both are dancers. She's a great hip hop dancer.
Oh,
my gosh.
please.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that I realized that these things are something I will miss, but I'm grateful for when they were there, when these people were in my life, that they supported me, that they gave me strength, and they gave me a feeling of I'm part of oh my gosh, I'm part of a family. I'm part of I actually found we had again this conversation. It's like finding a second family without actually it being your family. It's people that you choose in your life that you choose because they are like connecting with you on a certain wavelength. And even if it takes you a whole semester, and I'm holding a whole monologue, I realized, even if it takes you a whole semester, I feel like eventually you will get to this point, right? Yeah, your last expectation. What is your last expectation, Lord?
I don't know. I'm like
She's just crying. It's okay.
Oh, I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Last expectation. I'm ready to grow a lot as a person. What were my first two?
It was also growth. People. The second one, traveling,
growth. I'm so excited to grow and learn as a person. And I think putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, seeking discomfort, I think puts you in a position where you are being forced to grow. We're being forced to adapt and to take on new situations. And I already said that. And to be able to, I guess, develop into a different person. In one of my values, I don't think that you end up becoming a specific person that you're meant to be, because there's always room for growth and potential, and there's always going to be ups and downs. And I think I'm excited for those downs, because to me, that is the life that I want to live. I want to live a life that is fruitful, bountiful, that has so many different things happening in it, so many different experiences that I can be like, I went through this growth phase where I went through a phase where I was doing nothing at all, or I was going through a phase where I was so low or so high. We're not
talking about that.
Yeah. Where I'm excited that I'll be changing. I'm gonna change, obviously, but
I hope you get rid of your pajamas.
My pajamas? You don't like my pajamas?
No, I love them, but it's just gonna be funny the moment I see you not in pajamas for once.
There was one moment where Or yeah, in Tally, where I just like walk in with my red Christmas pajamas and my blue little wool cardigan that my sister gave me. Or like I remember that day, I was like, just sneak into the Tarlington building. It's fine. And
it's just crazy.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah,
we won't talk about that.
Yeah, but that's how our friendship started. But yeah.
And then she just like, the front door is open, and I'm like up on my bed, and I come down wearing slippers, and you were like, oh, you look so Slavic. With me, and like I'm fully wearing like a Christmas pajama set.
And these like socks and these like slippers that look so Slavic.
Tapichki.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. And the thing with the finals week that I didn't mention, it was just, one thing you need to remember: if you go abroad, be spontaneous, because sometimes you will do things you didn't expect to put on your bucket list, like coloring random your hair at like, I don't know, midnight.
Hey,
before.
Laura, do you want to color your hair? Okay.
And I was like, I never
During
done this
exam
before.
season.
Yes, it was like one day before business law. Everyone who takes business classes knows what I'm talking about.
Good luck with business law.
It was the best exam I took actually in business law.
Oh girl, I don't know. That's a stretch.
No, I'm just saying the exam that I had after coloring session was the best one I ever had. Best exam, best grade, but yeah. Well, kind of finishing up this topic of really crazy international feelings, and are you stressed about packing?
Yes. I haven't even started my floor up until 2 days ago, yesterday. All my clothes all over the floor. I had to tiptoe. It was a struggle to find the carpet under my clothes.
Oh my gosh.
And all over the floor, all of my stuff is out because I don't want to put it away because I'm going to have to take it out. I have to buy on Amazon the vacuum bags and whatnot.
And so many things.
So I don't, and like, I guess I'm stressed about going through the airport with so much luggage.
Oh, don't even remind me of that. I was traveling with 2 huge luggages and one small one in a backpack.
Which I'm gonna do.
It's like the moment you start packing, you're like, oh, that's like so easy. It's just one luggage that I need. And then you start realizing that for some reason toiletries just are so heavy.
Why? Why do I need so many things?
And sometimes you feel like you don't need but then just a pair of shoes weigh too much, and you're like questioning your life decisions. How can you pack your life into 2 luggages and disappear?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
That's what I'm nervous
problem
about.
An issue to have in life.
Packing. I am so stressed about packing and having to like check in my bags. So I went through an airport like when I was in 7th grade, and I don't remember any of it. Just recently, I had to go to DC to pick up my visa. That was the worst, probably 2 days of my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
This is right when Hurricane Debbie was her name. I think her name is Debbie. I don't really know. Started in Charlotte, and my flight from Baltimore, Maryland to DC just like was delayed. And then
I have a question to interrupt.
Yeah.
How do you name your hurricanes?
So I think I don't know. Because I know that they go through alphabetical order. I don't know I don't know, but like they go through alphabetical order, and I think there's also a thing about that's more like formal, and then I think informal, like I think they tend to name them like boy or girl names based off a specific, I don't really know.
That's funny because in Germany, fun fact, we haven't had a fun fact in this episode, right?
Fun fact.
You can pay.
Fun fact of the day.
You can pay someone to name a hurricane after your daughter or your son or someone.
What?
Like a family member. And so that's why I was like, is it a thing actually in the United States? Because we like, sometimes it's like,
I want to do that.
And it's funny because
Hurricane Loridana. Finally, people can pronounce my name.
No, but
everyone knew Loridana.
German names are just funny because think of like old German names. I'm thinking of like
Hurricane Veronishka.
No, that's Slavic. No, we're talking about like Gundalf. or like Alfred. And you think like, oh, that's funny, and you're like trying to like prepare yourself mentally for this hurricane, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna die and everything is gonna be bad, and then it's like hurricane Alfred is, or like these are not real German names, but Peter, Hurricane Peter.
How often do you get hurricanes? Do you also have like a hurricane season like us?
We don't really have that, but it's sometimes we have really bad rain, and like we kind of have hurricanes.
More like a tropical storm. Wait, tropical?
No, really, we don't have tropical. It's
that's
more
not,
we get storms in general, like wind and rain, and sometimes we have like during school. It's more rare, but we had some issues with like no electricity and things like that. By the way, we have today a hurricane going on.
Yeah.
But and then Microsoft was the other thing.
Microsoft, yeah. So my plane flight, it's like it was supposed to leave at 8:15 and we're still there at 12, and we're like, this plane isn't going anywhere. We're not going anywhere tonight. And the thing is, the next day I have a huge trip, not huge, but like I have a trip with my friend. I have to like, she's picking me up at 7 from my house, and I'm in Baltimore, Maryland right now, and freaking out.
For 12 hours stranded
and
at
then
the airport.
I remember, oh my gosh, Veronica is in DC right now.
Oh my gosh.
So
and she just calls me. I was already in bed. She calls me at 1 o'clock.
So bad by this.
This is how you remember that you have best friends and they care for you and love you so much.
Thank you,
You
Veronica.
can cry again now. This is the moment you're allowed to cry. And she just calls me, and I'm like in my bed. I'm done with my night routine, and then she's like, yes, I have a night routine. If everyone wondering, I'm trying. She's like, Veronica, I'm stranded here and I don't know what to do. And I'm like not even living by myself. It's like my cool host family that I really appreciate that they found the time. I love them so much.
Not even yours, your friends.
Yes, but no, they became like family. I just love them so much. They're like a second family to me right now. And we're like in Virginia, just sitting there, and they arrive there. We knock on their doors.
I'm with a friend, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So Thomas is able to get us plane flights because he has like priority in American Airlines or something. I don't really know. And he's able to get us tickets. So our plan to Raleigh, and then from Raleigh to Charlotte. Anyways.
And well, you realize like going through a visa process, no matter what country you go through, is always stressful. And if you need to fly out somewhere, you will probably encounter a lot of random things where you need to be spontaneous and figure out what to do.
Because my plan was, I flew to DC and then my plan was fly there and back in one day, and then just get my visa and pick it up.
Yeah, and then it didn't work out. She ended up staying. We were talking till 4 a.m. No one heard that. Well, catching up. We just missed each other. We missed each other.
There's so much to catch up
like,
on.
And then I started, and she was like, "You can't stop now." And I'm like, "Yeah, I
kind of regret it a little bit, but still."
No, I didn't. Well, I needed to get it off my chest, but things just happened, and well, here we go. So
I wake up at 5:30, right, and I get to the airport. Thomas and I, and then Thomas is able to find a flight faster home, but he couldn't get me on it, and I was like, okay. He was like, do you mind? I'm like, go for it. Like, you get yourself home, I can manage. So we're in DC, right? This is a separate airport, right? So I start from Charlotte, go to Baltimore. This is Reagan now. We're in Reagan. And I managed to fly to Raleigh with no problems, and then I have to wait. I get there at 9:40 or 9:50. I have to wait till 2:50 to get on another plane back to Charlotte. So I'm in an airport for like hours, and I'm trying to figure out if I can get a flight faster home, like if I get on standby, but I'm in basic economy, so that doesn't really work out. I'm waiting there for so long. It's 2:40. We're boarding the plane. They get a call. We're delayed for another 2 hours. And at that point, and I'm tweaking. I'm losing it. I'm hungry. I haven't slept. And I cannot stand the airport. I'm in the airport I've been in an airport or in an airplane for 10 hours. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
A normal flight from Germany. like around 10 hours flight. But
I get picked up, and like we all sort that out. And I'm hoping to get back on track. That's a little side quest to get back on track. I'm hoping that doesn't happen when I go to Spain.
Yes, and kind of rounding it up. This is how we came back to a Spain topic.
Yeah.
Wonderful Spain topic with good music, good vibes, people singing, dancing outside. I can guarantee you that. And people will be wonderful. I'm pretty sure about that. Be prepared for dry heat. Well, thank you so much for being here on the podcast. I'm kind of rounding it up this
Yeah,
way.
I think we should stop here maybe.
Yes.
Because I can go on for hours. I'm a
Yes,
yapper.
I know. And white noise, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to give a last advice for all our brave travelers. Yes, because you're brave, including Loredana.
Thank
And
you.
I'm
I'm
so
so brave.
proud of you guys for making this step happen and actually going on this airplane or whatever you're using, actually, even like moving to a different city now that school starts. I can understand how stressful it probably is for all of you guys moving to a different country, to a different college, starting completely something new chapter. But remember, that's something that you think back on and be like, oh, I really enjoyed it or I hated it. But then you had the experience and you know exactly what you like and what you hate.
Yep.
So I hope the wind is going to be nice to you guys.
Thank
and
you.
you're going to be
I hope so too. I hope
hopefully safe.
I hope the weather's fine when I go. I hope I don't get delayed.
And if you feel like it's raining, think of Veronica's one last thought. Russians always believe that when it's raining, it's a good omen.
All
Because
right.
that means it will
I'll keep
help
that in
you
mind.
to get faster to your home.
I don't
place.
believe that.
But hey, stop! Don't destroy my whole.
It didn't happen.
But yeah, so hurricane season in and out, but rain will be a good omen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.